Topping today's news, the British government hands over 10,000 pages of historical documents. The Bureau of Standards and Quality taking Bahamian-made products to new heights. 2 men arraigned for the country's 95th murder on Grand Bahama on Sunday. And a female inmate at the prison attempts suicide. Good evening, Bahamas. I'm Jarino Saunders. This is your JCN Evening News. It is a pleasure to have you join us. On Thursday, during a ceremony at the Ministry of Education, the British government presented the government of the Bahamas with over 10,000 pages of archived documents from as far back as the 1800s, if not further, giving a view of the Bahamas and its relationship with Great Britain. Baroness Jenny Chapman, United Kingdom Minister for the Caribbean, made the official handover and encouraged Bahamians to study and read the documents.
This moment also brings to mind the broader issue of reparations for the Caribbean people. You know, the horrors of slavery left a deep generational wound in our communities, and the fight for justice and reparatory justice is far from over. This document and Black Dick's story reminds us that while we cannot undo the past, we can work toward acknowledging the harm done and seeking meaningful redress. The call for reparations isn't simply about financial compensation. Let me be clear about that. It's not about financial compensation. It's about recognizing the enduring impact of centuries of exploitation and ensuring that the legacy of slavery is addressed with honesty and integrity. As Caribbean nations, we stand united in our demand for justice. Justice for generations who came before us and for those who are still living with the consequences of that brutal history.
While visiting the United Kingdom National Archives on a recent trip to London, where he viewed those documents, Prime Minister Philip Davis requested the collection be transferred to the Bahamas. Mr. Davis was grateful to officials in the United Kingdom for approving the request.
There's lots of rich content which I hope will be of interest to the ministry, to historians and to students directly. I'm delighted to be able to hand over these important documents, but it is my sincere hope, and one shared by the Honourable Minister of Education, that these papers just do not remain in a book. We want you all and your students and students from the UK to study these, debate them, learn from them, and grow because of them.
Black Dick DeVoe from Cat Island and Poor Black Kate from Crooked Island were Bahamians who fought against the oppression of slavery and paid the ultimate price with their life. The records that were once kept at the UK's National Archives will now be stored at the Bahamas National Archives. And according to Patrice Williams, the Director of Archives, digital copies of the documents will be made available online very soon. During Thursday's handing over ceremony, Prime Minister Philip Davis took the opportunity to renew the call for reparations from Great Britain for the generations of atrocities suffered during slavery.
Receiving those documents today, we're not just bringing a piece of history home. We are restoring a part of ourselves by placing it in our national archives. We are ensuring that the story of Black Dick and the stories of so many like him, like Poor Black Kate, will be remembered and honored. We are making sure that future generations, the young who are here today, will know who they are, where they come from, and the strength that runs in their veins.
The Prime Minister noted that among other subjects like the fight against climate change, he and Baroness Jenny Chapman, the United Kingdom's Minister for the Caribbean, they have also discussed the issues of reparations for slavery. Mr. Davis said it is not an easy conversation, but it is an important conversation. The Bahamian effort is being led by the recently formed National Reparations Committee. The Royal Bahamas Police Force informing today that the Criminal Investigations Department placed 2 adult males, both age 18 years old, before the Freeport's Magistrates Court for murder. Additionally, one of the males was also arraigned on 2 counts of attempted murder. This is in connection with a stabbing incident that occurred on Sunday that resulted in the death of 21-year-old Kennedy Webb at a business establishment on Polaris Drive, Caravel Beach. According to the investigators' initial reports, police responded around 2 a.m. to complaints of a disturbance at that local business establishment, and upon arrival, officers observed a group of males engaged in a physical altercation, which they de-escalated, leading to the individuals dispersing. Following this, police were informed that 2 adult males had arrived at the hospital, the Rand Memorial, with multiple stab wounds and were undergoing medical treatment. Shortly thereafter, a 3rd male, the deceased, Webb, was transported to the hospital, having also sustained multiple stab wounds to his lower body and his back. He was attended to by medical personnel, but was eventually pronounced dead. Acting on information, police arrested 4 adult males who were assisting with their investigation. The Bahamas Bureau of Standards and Quality is on a mission to take authentic products made in the Bahamas to the world through a renewed Made in the Bahamas certification. Falling under the Ministry of Economic Affairs, Minister Michael Halkitis shared what the government's goal is behind this initiative.
It is my distinct pleasure to be here today as we highlight the upcoming Made in the Bahamas certification program, a truly transformative initiative for our nation's economy and local industries. This program, spearheaded by the Bahamas Bureau of Standards and Quality, the BBSQ, represents a bold step forward in promoting and certifying authentic Bahamian-made products that meet rigorous standards of quality and excellence. The Ministry of Economic Affairs is proud to support this effort, recognizing its potential to elevate Bahamian products on the global stage.
Mr. Halkitis said the Made in the Bahamas certification mark will not only set a benchmark for quality, but also give local manufacturers and producers a significant competitive edge by enhancing their visibility both locally and internationally.
This partnership isn't just about infrastructure. It's about people. BGC will provide invaluable training opportunities for our dedicated BPL staff, giving them access to the latest grid technology and enabling them to grow in their careers while supporting our core mission of providing safe, reliable, and cost-effective energy. With support from Pike Corporation, BGC gains the ability to leverage Pike's already established robust supply chain network, reducing lead times on crucial infrastructure equipment to help the Bahamas overcome supply chain constraints and deliver a more reliable service to the Bahamian people. As a good show of faith, Pike Corporation has been on the ground in New Providence providing support to assist the corporation in the Summer Readiness Program.
Mr. Halkitis said another of the primary goals of the government is to boost export capabilities to showcase the ingenuity and creativity of Bahamian manufacturers. The Bureau will host a Made in the Bahamas certification town hall meeting on November 14th at the Holy Trinity Community Center. They'll start that at 5:30 p.m. And finally, in this segment, this week, the Ministry of Labor and Public Service shared a summary of the first draft of the Labor Reform White Paper as they prepare to move forward with its review and approval process. The draft document outlines recommendations for reforms to modernize the Bahamas' labor laws by bringing relevant legislation and policies into alignment with the international standards and addressing the needs of an evolving workforce. The list of 255 recommendations include changes to key legislation such as the Employment Act, Industrial Relations Act, Public Service Act, and the General Orders. According to the Minister of Labor and Public Service, Pierre Glover-Rowe, the white paper will be presented to Cabinet for approval before a first draft of the bill can be prepared. You're listening to JCN News. We'll take a break here. We'll be right back after these commercials.